much. There's so much.
It's not enough, if you ask me.
Oh, you want more news? Is that what you're saying?
I'm kidding.
You want me to open up more tabs?
Cut out half of those tabs.
I got a lot of tabs open. I can open up more tabs.
We're going to start lightning round and we're going to end lightning round.
We can just start doing other news. We can just start becoming like a general news podcast. And then the RageSelect ends with just me sitting at a desk in a suit just talking about what happened.
And now the weather.
And now to Amanda for the weather.
It's raining.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the RageSelect podcast. You're RageSelect. I'm Jeff.
I'm Amanda.
I'd like to open up with. I don't like to do this all the time, but I've been having a real crap bone of a week this week, so I'm trying real hard to push through that. I'm trying real hard to be good.
We're being positive.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about all that.
We're seeing the good in humanity.
This isn't the Optimus Select podcast. Come on, that's not what's going on.
All rainbows.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I from time to time I've been like, is there like a feel good subreddit? And it's like, yes, there is a feel good subreddit. And then I go there and I'm like, this doesn't make me feel good. This is just
it's always like puppy
inspirational quotes.
And,
here's a poem from God. Like, I'm like, all right, whatever.
Ugh, God's a terrible poet.
But you know what? That shit doesn't work for you or me.
Nope.
So I've got some dystopian shit to talk about before we get into the actual dystopian shit. I've got some fictional dystopian shit.
Hell yeah, that's my favorite kind of dystopian shit.
Do you want the regular dystopian shit, or do you want the like fucking scary dystopian shit?
Fucking scary.
Fucking scary.
Who are you fucking talking to,
Well, okay.
Jeff?
I just wanted to ask. This is some real brainworm stuff.
Okay.
I found this last week. Bryce retweeted something, and then it led me down a hole. Do you know what Loab is?
Why does that sound familiar?
So I found this last week. Loab is this AI generated lady face that this guy, I'll make sure I credit the right person, called at Super Composite. And like, he has this whole thread about it where like, there is this AI generated lady face that he named Loab, Loab. And the thing is that something about this face, when you use this face as a seed for anything else in an AI generator, it creates absolute horror. Like, depending on your prompt. Like, the face looks like a weird lady.
Yeah, like rosy cheeked old woman that's done heroin in her day.
Yeah, it looks like out of meth. Don't do it or something like that.
Yeah, very
but
much
like
that.
the things that it comes up with are like like I
oh god. We're getting
like this shit is legit.
Oh.
Fucking like nightmare fuel.
Yeah, that's...
like really, really crazy. And the thing is, I wanted to mention this, Amanda, because I thought that you would get a kick out of it because like it brought up two things to mind. One, you best believe that this shit is the new Slender Man. Like, Loab is the new demon of the internet.
Yeah, 100%.
That is just like hanging out there. It is like, oh, and it's only a matter of time before she crosses over into the real world to like fuck up your shit.
Yeah.
But then the other thing that I noticed when I started looking at this stuff was like, there's a kind of an interesting phenomena where like with these very violent pictures that are in this thread, right? Like, it made me realize that AI might have the power to like make scarier shit than we've ever seen before, because there's literally not a person's brain telling them to stop, right? Like, it's a composite of violence in a dispassionate way that comes up with stuff where it's just like a regular person's brain would be like, stop what you're doing. Like, you need
this
to
is
make
good. That's fine.
Yeah. Whereas like some of this stuff is just really
something
terrifying.
kind of funny about like talking to a person and being like, and this is pretty scary, and then a robot being like, is this pretty scary? And just you know what I mean? Like, oh my god.
Like,
there's something. So if you go not this post, but the previous one.
Yeah.
No. Down.
Oh, this
that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Something about it's like two bloody people, versions of the same woman, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're both looking at us. Like they're looking at the camera almost. Yep. And that is what's more horrifying than anything.
And neither of them have eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't looked up Loab on the internet, that's a real hole right there.
That's fantastic.
Like, this thread kind of keeps going down, and then later on it starts to show like if you just use this in connection with other prompts, like this face just keeps coming through in various ways. Like it just keeps popping through different horror prompts, and as well as like other stuff, and it's all really terrible. Like it's all really terrifying in a very specific way. Because like I've been fucking around with Midjourney, but Midjourney doesn't allow gore and it doesn't allow nudity. So like they literally block if you try to do a prompt that has like anything bloody or like gore or stuff like that. So I don't know which program is being used for this, but it comes up with some truly fucking terrifying shit. Yeah,
getting a little Cronenberg body horror with it too.
Yeah, very, very Cronenberg. It kind of, some of it reminds me of the illustrations from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah.
Like with all that kind of weird, like the guy that made those, the original ones where it's just like an arm coming off at an angle that doesn't make any sense with like ink dripping off of it, where it's more about just evoking like horror.
Yeah.
Than anything
it's not
else.
like discomfort and horror at the same time. It's not necessarily like, if we describe what we're looking at, you wouldn't think it's scary. It's the discomfort that you get from looking at it.
Yeah. There's also just a whole vibe of that AI stuff where when it goes bad, it's way creepier than normal. It's
it's like a new arm of the Uncanny Valley.
Yes.
Like this is non-human, and not in a like it should be shaped like a person, but in a like we can't even process what we're looking at.
Like your reptile mind recoils in horror at a primal level of like, what is that danger? Danger, what is that? Get away from that. You have to get away from that. So yeah, it was interesting to look at this. I just kind of came across it like in the wild and was like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking at that tonight.
It's funny because then the thing is that this prompt at the very beginning, the original tweet, I discovered this woman who I call Loab in April. The AI responded, reproduced her more easily than most celebrities. Her presence is persistent and she haunts every image she touches. This block of text has become a meme of just like putting other people. This is the one that Bryce retweeted that's just like a Google Street Camp thing, and there's like a lady twerking in the foreground.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
And I saw this, and yeah, so it's now become a thing that people just put over other things. There's a lot of queens in here because of the day that we're recording this, but yeah. And then, of course, Lisa Loab.
That's amazing.
Yep. So, and you know what? Now we're going to talk about, I'm sorry, I mean to take up all the beginning parts, but I also wanted to say that I didn't find out that today was the day that I found out that the Peripheral is coming to Amazon.
Yes.
Because I'm not putting Loab in my thumbnail in case there is some kind of actual thing.
Put Loab.
Where she comes through the fucking screen and murders everybody.
Gift it to all of RageSelect.
Hells no. You can search that shit on your own.
That's on you.
That is on you. Like I kind of consider this like I'm not a superstitious person. I don't really believe in like ghosts and shit like that. But I also have seen enough horror movies that it's like I looked at that shit on Twitter. I'm not typing it into Midjourney. I'm not putting it into Photoshop. I'm not going to do it much more searching than that because that's the kind of white people shit that leads to fucking, the movie inspired by true events.
Yeah,
Loab.
That's fair. You don't want to be victim number one in the Loab movie.
Damn right. There are enough people on the internet that are probably already tempting the fates.
Yeah.
Or just like, oh, it turns out, you know how like when they make chatbots, eventually the chatbots all turn like white nationalist and racist and shit when they let them like look at the internet for too long. And I'm like, is this a thing where the AIs are all going to become demons, where they're just going to become infected with Satan, and they're all going to be subliminally messaging Satan to us from now on, and then it turns out everybody's a Satanist, or
That's amazing.
the
I
devil
love that
walks
idea.
the earth, or something like that.
Careful what you say on the internet, because people are going to like sound clip it and be like, "This expert actually says."
Right. People are saying.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Wait until the Christians or the conservatives get wind of this, and it's just like, yep. But I gotta tell you, you know,
I heard it on a podcast. God Select.
That's right. That's right.
Where you select God.
I think that as long as you don't fuck with Loab too much, Dongacles will protect you. Will protect Dongacles and his one true son, Jesus, will protect your soul and your junk from, you know, internet demons. Walk the righteous path, y'all. Walk the path of Dongacles.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, I'm not putting Loab in the thumbnail. I also found out that the Peripheral is going to be a thing, and I'm so excited because outside of the absolute Criterion Collection classic that is Johnny Mnemonic, I do not believe that they have adapted William Gibson stuff at all. I think that's the only thing that ever got adapted, even though William Gibson is fucking wonderful. And, you know, they adapted Timeline by Michael Crichton, but we can't get fucking Neuromancer by William Gibson.
Just so we're clear, though, Michael Crichton...
Jurassic Park, I know.
No. They made everything.
Well, that's true.
Why was Congo a movie?
Yeah.
Does anybody want to talk about Congo?
Or Sphere.
Sphere is one of the few movies that John and I disagree on.
Oh, yeah?
Because I like it and he hates it.
I liked it all right.
I think he liked the book and it's not like the book or something. I don't remember. It was like
I read the book, but...
I don't know.
Anyway, The Peripheral is coming to Amazon next month.
Yeah, it looked awesome. You showed me the trailer.
Chloe Grace Moretz is going to play the main character. If you don't want to know the spoiler to Peripheral, first off, it's in the trailer, and also the book has been out for like a good 8 years now.
Yeah.
And I realize that those are not things. It's not that much of a spoiler, and I really consider this to be like, okay, you know that thing where I totally wasn't going to watch that movie, and then somebody said what that movie was about, and so then I was like, oh, I will watch that. I didn't know it was about that. So where like more information actually got you interested in watching it.
Sometimes it's better than going in blind. Yeah.
So if you don't want to know, skip forward a couple of minutes. I'll try to keep the synopsis brief, but the basic plot of The Peripheral is it's split between two characters. There's some characters in this one place and characters in another place. Chloe Grace Moretz plays like a person in a small town in near future America where like there are no jobs, there's no money, everybody lives in poverty, but there's a lot of automation, and so people still can eat. It's just they live these very kind of poor lives. Like they've got crappy jobs and they got crappy futures and all this stuff. And then her character's brother is like, hey, I've been doing this job on the weekends. You put this helmet on and you go into like this virtual reality thing. It's like a game, but you get paid to do it. I got to go meet up with my buddies. What can you do this for me? And so she does. And then what it turns out is that the other part is the future. And in the future, there's been a huge ecological and pandemic calamity unnamed in the books so far. Yeah. And the population of the world is like 1% of what it once was. Like most people died. And the people that are left, it's like whatever it was, they're past that now. But what it means is that in the future, like almost everything is done with automation. People are very disconnected from each other. But then because those few people have inherited all of the resources of what's left, they're able to do these titanic projects using automation and stuff like that. And one of the things that they do is they found a way to it's like a pinpoint tunnel that they can go back in time. They can't go back in time. They can only send data back through time. So what they do is they open these very small communications apertures and hire people from the past to run the robots in the future to do things that are too complicated for the simple drones. And that's what Chloe Grace Moretz's character is doing, is basically putting on this helmet and then controlling a peripheral in the future. And then they wire transfer money kind of back through time into the past in order to pay the people for it. And then like that's just the setup. So then it's like what happens from there is more interesting than that.
Right.
But it's like a really good setup. And it in the book, I think it's like the first third or the first half. It's not that's not the twist at the end that you find out. You find that out relatively early on. But I think that that's a really cool concept for the trailer that we saw.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would have watched it if I didn't know. That trailer looked interesting, but kind of generically interesting.
Yeah.
It would have just been like, okay, what is it? You got like neon lights and you've green screened some statues into downtown London and here's Chloe Grace Moretz. Like, well, whatever,
Yeah, it would look, if you didn't tell the like twist, it would kind of come off just generic dystopian future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's nothing tangible to grab from it.
Yeah. And so it's a really interesting concept. It's an interesting world. There have been 2 books in it. The last one came out, I believe, last year. And then the Peripheral came out, I think it was during the pandemic, or it was like 2019, 2020, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys should all go read it because it's great. And William Gibson's great. If you haven't read William Gibson, he's got 3 trilogies. You know, there's the original Cyberpunk trilogy that holds up to this day, which is Neuromancer, Burning Chrome, Mona Lisa Overdrive. Then there's the Bridge trilogy that's more of a social artsy commentary thing that is Idoru, Virtual Light, and All Tomorrow's Parties. And then the third one is called the Big End trilogy, which is about social media, near future. It's a lot of like rich people trying to find Nietzsche mysterious stuff, kind of like Cool Hunting taken to an absurd international super spy level. And that one is Spook Country. I don't remember the other 2. That's the only one that I remember, but those are all really good books too.
You've read all of them?
I've read all of them.
Wow.
Multiple times, actually. William Gibson is an amazing author. Like, he'll keep you on the edge of your seat. Like, he's really, really good. Neuromancer stands up to this day. Like, it's really a very good book.
Yeah.
Father of Cyberpunk holds up really well. He does this thing that I'd never seen before that I feel like some of the other Cyberpunk stuff that we see does, where it's like he'll just put in brand names of things that don't exist. So it's like, you know, you're going to get this one particular style of jacket, right?
Yeah.
But he never explains what it is. And so it just kind of gives your imagination grist to be like, wow, what does that look like? Oh,
yeah.
It's like, so. Did you do anything interesting last week? Anything you want to call out here?
No. Well, it was like my birthday weekend, and then it all went to shambles at some point.
Okay.
So,
I don't want to dwell on the past.
yeah, and plus, like a lot of it was like not new stuff. Like we didn't go watch anything or anything. It was all just like keeping up with the things we've been keeping up with. I'm a few episodes behind on She-Hulk. Mm-hmm. Shame on me.
Well.
But yeah,
you got plenty to watch this weekend. You know?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, we watch a wrestling pay-per-view, so
I have my wrestle sense that comes through because of the people that I know that do stuff like you retweet and stuff. There's something happening in wrestling right now. I don't know if it's something that we can get into. But
after, I can do it real quick. So after the pay-per-view, they do a media scrum.
Yeah.
And which is usually legit. It's not, you know, the wrestlers coming out and being like, these 20-inch pythons, brother. You know, like they're not coming out and doing promos. It's literally like, oh yeah, so like I've always wanted to work with this wrestler, and it's kind of legit, kind of not. CM Punk, who I don't know if you know his name.
It's with the X's.
Yeah. He came out. He just won championship, the AEW World Championship. Came out and just laid in on the EVPs of the company, half of the people, like he just like eating a muffin, just being like, yeah, oh, you guys want to report about this? He had a like falling out with his best friend 7 years ago. It was part of him leaving WWE, so it was big news, and it involved lawsuits and things like that, and it created a whole thing of like that person no longer works for this company now, and so, but everyone was blaming CM Punk, and CM Punk sat down and went like, oh, you guys are saying this, but the EVPs were saying it, and blah blah blah, all while eating a muffin, bleeding from his head and looking fucking fucking crazy. And then after that, the EVPs, who are also wrestlers, by the way, they're not just like dudes in business suits, kicked his door down in his locker because he refused to talk to them because they wanted to have a civilized conversation. I say in air quotes because I'm not sure how civilized conversation ends with kicking a door down.
Sure.
And then thus started a fight where a guy who was in CM Punk's locker room, who's his friend, who is also a wrestler named Ace Steel. Nobody fucking knows who he is.
Yeah.
Like an older guy, ended up like biting a guy and threw a chair at a different guy.
Wait,
and
was this on?
No, none of this is all.
This is like an actual fight.
Just so we're clear, this is all IRL. Like this shit is really happening. So, by the way, the EVPs just won the very first ever trios championship. So it's three guys.
They're all in step.
So three guys versus this one guy who just won. So the very next day, that was Sunday, or the very next televised show on Wednesday, all those titles were vacated. Everyone's suspended.
Oh,
they are not allowed to there's like a whole thing going on. So it's been like a big thing in wrestling.
Shit.
Yeah. It's so like the whole company, everyone's just been like, what is going on? It's
a guy got bit.
Yeah, and like the guy that got hit in the head with the chair, like the leg of the chair literally went like towards the eyeball.
Oh, geez.
So like it's all very real serious and hilarious. Wrestling is stupid. Wrestling, I can't express this enough. Wrestling is full of theater kids.
Yeah.
Take your theater kid ego, give them muscles and like weird machismo shit, and this is what you get.
What I want to know is, has anybody done a dramatic, like an Unsolved Mysteries reenactment of like, we think it might have gone something like this?
I've not seen, but wrestling fans are always so quick to like storytell.
Yeah.
So it's never like, and this is what we know for facts. It's always like, and Punk had to have been like, hey man, like go fuck yourself. And then the Bucks, who are the EVPs, had to have been like, no, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like everyone always becomes a storyteller. Nobody was in the fucking room.
Yeah.
Shit's hilarious.
All right. Well, speaking of dumb, hilarious shit, CD Projekt Red.
RageSelect. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes. Well, no, yeah, that's kind of the tagline for the entire thing. I'm sorry, I'm really distracted here. I'll come back to that later. Okay. Cyberpunk 2077, they dropped a new thing, Night City Wire, like their little
I thought they were
going
to stop doing things for...
They did.
They lied. They lied straight to my face.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, but next week there is a Netflix thing called Cyberpunk 2077 Edgerunners that is it's an anime being made by Studio Trigger, who made Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann and Little Witch Academia.
Yeah.
Promare, they did that movie that came out like a few years back. Anyway, very well respected, are making a Cyberpunk 2077 spin-off anime that comes out next week.
Nice.
So this was kind of like well, actually, you know what? That's not even true. There was a few things that were going on here. Let's go over them. And we're going to do this one fast because there's not a whole shitload of it. They showed the trailer for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I doubt, Amanda, that you've seen this yet.
No.
It actually looks really good. I haven't felt the last few Studio Trigger things I've seen, but one of those was Little Witch Academia, which was not my jam.
I was gonna say that doesn't seem you're not the demographic for it.
I mean, I'm a sucker for a school story thing. It was just a little bit too cutesy for me. And then the other one was Promare, which was their feature film that was about supernatural firefighters in the future. And I'm like, this is good, but I've watched 2 seasons of Fire Force, and that's better.
That's what it sounded like when you were saying.
But this, I was fairly disappointed with Cyberpunk 2077, and this just looks like an excuse to have a lot of violence and bright flashing colors and blood and gore and sex and violence. And I'm like,
I mean, the animation's kind of beautiful, so.
Yeah, Studio Trigger is known for having like really kind of smooth and dynamic animation. Oh, the other thing they did was they did that one, it was the Disney Visions thing. You remember the animated Disney stuff that they did? That was a bunch of animators. It was the one where it was like the twins and they have a fight on top of a Star Destroyer, and it was like so over the top.
Yeah.
So this trailer came out last week. And so basically what the first thing that they talked about was they added like 3 things from the anime into the game.
Okay.
Like the main character of the anime has a big yellow jacket. They added that jacket into the game. There's a place where you can find what are they called, brain dance glasses that when you put them on, it just shows you the trailer for it, and then V wakes up and it's like, what the fuck? And there's like a couple of the big guns that you see in the trailer. They also, I'll be honest, I didn't watch this whole part because 1, it goes on for fucking ever.
Yeah,
it goes on from here to
really long
here.
Video.
And 2, they started going into like detail about what happens in the show, and I was like, no, I want to watch the show.
I'll just watch it. Thank you.
Like, don't tell me. I'll just watch it as it comes. So then they also had patch 1.6 that came out. This is the patch that has a lot of the Edgerunner stuff. It also has like 3 other things.
Like what? Define things.
Okay, very small things. This is going to be. These are all good things that they put in the game. These are all things that should have been in the game in the first place.
Yeah.
Number 1 is you can now create. What do they call them? What did this one of these news stories tell me? It's like a vanity thing. What they call them. Anyway, I forget. Basically, like, one of the problems with Cyberpunk 2077 was that your stats were tied to your clothes, right? Instead of like armor or something.
Yeah.
And the clothes, so you never had a consistent style. You have to keep putting on the new jacket with +2, the new pants with +4, and it made you look like a doofus, right? Because you had all these amazing clothes, but you had to wear the ones with the best stats to play the game.
Right.
Well, now you have 6 slots in your house where you can make cosmetic loadouts where you can just be like, no matter what I put on, it's going to show this shirt, these pants, and et cetera, et cetera.
Oh.
They also added a bunch of other stuff where, like, if you go into shops, it used to be that you couldn't see what a thing would look like on your character until after you bought it. Now you can preview. Oh, this should have been in the game.
Yeah, that's like standard gameplay.
Yep, 100% should have been in the game. They added a very small mini game called Roach Race, which is Geralt's horse, and it's just kind of a little Flappy Birdie thing that you can play inside of the game. There's a cat called Nibbles in the game that is like a hairless cat that you can get at some point if you feed it enough, and you can now put the cat in the photo mode. I'm like, great. That's not necessarily the most interesting thing to me, but fine.
You guys really prioritized it, huh?
Yeah. And then also you can go to the Ripper Docs, which are like the cyber doctors in the game, and you can redo facial features. Like, you can redo the sliders on your face.
Oh.
Like, at first, you couldn't do anything once you got into the game. You couldn't recustomize. Last update they added, you can go to any mirror in the game and redo your hair, makeup, jewelry, cyberware. But now you can literally go to a Ripper Doc and you can redo your facial preset, your whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Which, again, should have been in the game from the start.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they did that. The most interesting part to me was them talking with the guy who's going to be the director moving forward, because like one of the things that this guy talked about was, okay, before I go there, this is the final update for previous gen systems. So even though there is additional content that's going to be coming, none of it will be coming to PS4, none of it will be coming to the Xbox One. It's all going to be next gen systems and PC from now on. I kind of get that. Like, this game is already like so full that I feel like there's no room on the previous gen systems to keep adding additional complexity without slowing the game down to a place where it would be kind of bleh. Also, what they've done so far is good. Like, I think the game is probably better now than it was. But one of the things that this guy talked about that he mentioned really briefly was they're going to be redoing the entire gameplay loop for melee combat, which is very good because it needs that. And they're going to be adding a whole bunch of new stuff to the cyberware part of it, which is good because that game needs that.
Yeah.
He also said they're going to be adding new car-to-car combat options, like you can, instead of just being able to drive away from the cops if they're chasing you, you can like stick your gun out the window and shoot at them, or other gangs or things like that. All of this to me is like complete and total vindication of like, good, it's good that I have not played this game yet, that I haven't really given it a shot yet, because I want to wait for that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like
so it plays as a game, like
right.
Not, I don't know.
Yeah. Like the melee combat in Cyberpunk was kind of meh. The cyber combat in Cyberpunk was kind of meh. Mm-hmm. Like, as near as I can tell, the game was perfectly fine if you just got a machine gun and gunned people down. But if you wanted to do like stealth or hacking or things like that, those sides of the game were not as fleshed out as the other ones. And the idea that it's like, well, we're going to flesh those out.
Yeah. Then I'll wait until you do so.
Then I will wait until you do so. Also, I will wait until the other big announcement, which was the first DLC. They put out a trailer for the first and only DLC that is called Phantom Liberty. The trailer, because man hasn't seen this, is a montage, and it has this kind of person welcoming V into the new United States of America and taking like a pledge of allegiance, along with like some kind of snippets of different violent gameplay and kind of imagery and stuff. And at the very end, you hear Keanu say like, "That was a bad move," like after you get done reciting the little like pledge. They managed to cajole Keanu Reeves back into the studio to do VO for this DLC.
I feel like he's probably not as hard to get as people think when he likes a project or likes the people he works with. So he probably dug them. I mean, he did enough to do their E3 thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he comes out at the end of this presentation and has this really weird cadence where he basically is just like, I'm back here doing my thing or whatever. Like,
I think he's trying to recapture the like you're breathtaking thing.
So, you know, all that is good. Again, I think it's a little disappointing because they said that they're only going to do one DLC. Like, the thing is that there's a
Did you just come at the camera?
He did. He comes at the camera at the end of that sequence.
That was horrifying.
There's a little bit. Okay, so first off, The Witcher 3 had two titanic DLCs. One was Hearts of Stone, which tied in a lot to the main plot line and recontextualized one of the characters there a little bit. And the other was Blood and Wine, which was like a whole other area. It was big. It was big and massive and had a lot of stuff in it. You know, it's interesting because Cyberpunk sold relatively well, but it's got this black eye in the video game industry. We already know that CD Projekt Red is working on the next Witcher game right now.
Yeah.
There was an update to Thronebreaker, or a full card game that they put out not too long ago. Like, when I look at this trailer and I see things like that Roach Race minigame, and I'm like, no, you need to be revamping the melee combat, not adding cutesy. Like, I don't care whether you could take a picture of the cat in photo mode.
Yeah.
I care whether the car combat works right. Like, I care whether the police system is fixed now, 2 years after this game came out. That thing came out the end of 2020. And like, we're staring down the barrel of holiday 2022. The idea that then also they're only going to put out one DLC for it, it's incredibly disappointing. We haven't heard anything about, there's supposed to be a whole multiplayer mode for the game that just disappeared into the ether. So to me, it's a little disappointing. It's very disappointing because it feels like when this game wasn't the smash hit, even though it did sell very, very, very well.
Yeah, I thought their whole thing was that, because I kept being like, when they'll learn their lesson, and everyone's like, but they actually sold really well. So, you know, y'all told me I was wrong, but they're acting like I was right.
It sold very well in spite of the fact that they got all Steam and PlayStation and Microsoft to allow full unlimited refunds for like 4 months after that game was out, is kind of berserk that they, after the community has been like, no, we believe in this as a project, we just want you to fix it and make it right.
Yeah.
That they're like, okay, well, that's enough. Like, we have to do enough And it's not fair to compare the two, but just comparing them to like what No Man's Sky just keeps adding feature after
that
feature
does not
after
look
feature.
like the same game that originally came out. But maybe what if Witcher is at risk for doing the same thing, and because they don't want that to happen, they just pulled everyone from. Is that like a plausible thought?
Yes. To me, I think that what has happened is that they've put most of their people on doing dev work for the next. Well, the thing is that all game work is like it's like a hockey stick, where the longer it goes on, the more people you need. So if you're in the prototyping initial phase, like idea stuff doesn't require like full devs to work on, right? There's like people in conference rooms with whiteboards and like, proposals and stuff going back and forth and scrums. But like as you then need people to come in and fill in all the stuff that you've decided, then you need more and more people until the point at the very end where hockey sticks up and you need like everybody all day, every day.
Yeah.
But to me, I feel like they've been really slow at implementing fixes and patches for Cyberpunk to the point where I feel like they downgraded it in importance to be like, it's not worth putting a lot of time and effort into this because no matter what we do, the reputation has already been tarnished and there's no way to get that goodwill back that wouldn't cost a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And to me, the problems with Cyberpunk seem to come from the executive money side of it in the first place of just like, no, it has to go out.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's
100%.
not fixed yet, blah, 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 blah. So
that like business mindset without thinking about what you're actually doing. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you come down to it, like once these final patches come out, because the DLC is supposed to be out next year, once that's out, once the last changes have been made, once they're like, we're done doing development work except for bug fixes, whenever that date is, if it's in 2023, that is when Cyberpunk comes out of early access, because the stuff that I've listed off is not additional features.
Yeah.
Like the ability to have a clothing layout that doesn't make you look stupid is something that this is not 600 hours of dev work. This is like a few new menus systems added to the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is not a billion years. You don't have to hire a new dev team to implement that. Putting the cat in photo mode is not a heavy lift, even though they like to pretend like it is. It's like, it's not. So at the end of the day, it's fine. It's just, it's not. I don't know. It's just not what I was hoping for.
I wanted more from you, Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I mean, I love Cyberpunk. I just got done fucking waxing about. I've read every single William Gibson book that's ever been written multiple times over. I read Burning Chrome or Neuromancer once every couple of years. I'll just be like, oh, it's like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm like, ooh. I know I've forgotten just enough of that book to be able to go back and be like, yeah. I really like that. And so the idea that this is getting the half-assed treatment when they go back to their cash cow, The Witcher, is like, that's really disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Because it was like 10 years of dev time, a disastrous launch, and it's going to be 3 years worth of fixing it to get it to be
playable.
A 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's fine, but there's a lot of 7 out of 10s out there. What you going to do? Like, even the people that like Cyberpunk, it's like, it's fine. That's generally what I hear is like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, it is my game of the year, full stop. So I don't know. Let's see. We covered a lot of this stuff. Cops are getting fixed, obviously. Again, like here's a little Twitter video of the cops in this game and how they operate, where you see like cops just appear out of nowhere, and like here they are behind this car, and then it's like they turn the camera, and then they're gone. They just like appear and disappear.
What?
This is what the game is like right now. Like how Saints Row has a functional wanted system.
Yeah.
Like when you lose all of your heat in Saints Row, any remaining combatants literally turn around and run away until you can't see them anymore. And the wreckage of their vehicles lays on the ground and burns. And Saints Row, by all accounts, even though I like it, is a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Like this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
in a AAA video game. So
that's so weird.
Yep.
It's a weird video to see where he's like, they're the cops and they're gone.
Yeah. Let's see. Speaking of dystopian futures, who's ready to talk about GameStop?
Boo.
So, okay, here's a funny thing. This story is being reported in a way that, like, I am actually here to debunk this story.
Okay.
So the Kotaku headline on this is this is irresponsible in my opinion. GameStop accused of, quote, wiretapping customers without their consent. So somebody filed a lawsuit in California. Now, there is one part of this that is true, and the rest of it I think is some hyperbolic bullshit. Mm-hmm. The first part says that in California, there is a specific law in California that says if you are recording anything from customers, like if you are fucking recording them for quality assurance purposes, or you are going to capture this chat information for later evaluation, you have to notify the customer. It can't be ambiguous. They must know.
Yeah, that's why when sometimes you're on hold, you'll hear the, like, for quality assurance, we have your call will be recorded.
Yep.
Yeah.
So apparently the whole point of this is this lawsuit says that GameStop covertly wiretaps the communications of all visitors who utilize the chat features at GameStop.com and shares the secret transcripts of the wiretaps with a third party that boasts of its ability to harvest personal data from the transcripts for marketing and other purposes. Defendant neither informs visitors nor obtains prior express consent to these intrusions. Now, let's clear that up. Mm-hmm. One, wiretapping is when a third party taps into another party's communication system.
Yeah.
GameStop cannot wiretap the chats of GameStop because they are GameStops.
Yeah.
Like, if Walmart was capturing GameStop chat data through a Trojan that was installed on their servers, that would be, quote unquote, wiretapping.
Yeah.
The reason this says wiretap is because that sounds really scary.
Yeah.
Then, if you read further down, you will find, would you like to take a guess at what this malicious third party that does all of these things is?
This, like Google AdSense?
This spooky third party that harvests personal data?
What? I'm scared, Jeff. Just tell me.
I'm a pirate now. This is going to okay, I'm going to say it, and then some people who know what this is are going to roll their eyes, and other people will not know, and I will explain it to them. That third party is Zendesk. I'll give everybody that knows what Zendesk is a moment to finish laughing.
God damn it.
Zendesk is a website that provides chat and messaging support tools to companies.
Yeah.
So, like, when you go and you open up that chat assistant thing, it routes to somebody sitting at a desk that's logged into company X's Zendesk account.
Yeah.
And when that chat pops up, that person goes, "Oh, what can I help you with today?" That is, so, like, yes, they are capturing your data.
Literally the function of Zendesk.
Yes. Exactly.
So is this somebody who doesn't understand what Zendesk is?
No, this is somebody trying to get money. Because the only thing I can think of is the main thing here is that they are not telling people that they're.
Oh, I meant the person who wrote the article that tried to make it as scary as possible.
I think.
Do they not know what Zendesk is, or?
I think that it's a good day for clicks on websites.
Yeah.
Maybe they know what Zendesk is. Maybe they don't. Because I went down to the comments, and the people in the comments, they did not appear to know what Zendesk is either.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that when it says that a third party that boasts of its ability to harvest personal data from transcripts for marketing and other purposes, my bet is I don't really know because I didn't look it up, but I am familiar with Zendesk just because I've rubbed up against it in the past. I know people that use it.
I've worked with Zendesk at several jobs.
Yes. Is that data that is being it would be as if they wrote a spooky story about, like, did you know that when you call in for tech support that your call may be monitored? It may be recorded.
Yeah.
They might let other people listen to your call that was monitored. There could be another person breathing into the phone, listening to you, and you tell them the problems that you're having, and then this person that you don't even know is listening. And it's like, yes. I'd be willing to bet that the marketing part of that is probably Zendesk using example chats in marketing copy to advertise. And I'd be willing to bet that the other purposes part of it is them doing data analysis on the types of chats and the types of mails that people get in order to decide where to put their development money moving forward into the future.
Yeah, I would also guess that it would have something to do because you can make tags in Zendesk.
Yep.
So you can, like, when you get a ticket, so anyone who hasn't worked in customer support before, every like call that or chat that comes in, it creates essentially a ticket. And then the like support rep will like fill it out with the details of like you couldn't get in because they forgot their password or whatever it is.
Right.
Wants a refund for X, Y, and Z. And a lot of times some companies utilize it, some companies don't. But Zendesk allows you to tag those tickets. So you could be like, today we got 85 calls about not being able to log into your password to your account. And only 2 calls about people wanting refunds.
And you know how you get those reports, right, is you have to ask Zendesk to analyze the data that came in
that's
and
what
give
I'm
you a
saying.
report.
So that it just sounds like somebody doesn't understand that Zendesk, or they do and they're just being whatever, but like that's the whole fucking function of Zen. That's so weird to hear somebody like but Zendesk like has your information.
Like, I pulled up this article and they've got fucking Gene Hackman in the image and all this like spooky stuff, and I was reading it and I was like, oh, a fucking thing, and then they're capturing people's data, and then it was like, and they're giving it to Zendesk, and I was like, wait a minute, that is almost
as stupid as being like, did you know that when you log into your like Facebook account, Facebook has your password for the account that you're logging into? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Zendesk Zendesk keeps your information for when you're calling in or creating a chat. Yeah, that is literally what it's supposed to do.
Yes, so that the next time you write in, the person who's helping you can look at what you previously wrote.
Also, that's like, God.
And the idea that the use of the word wiretap is just like, that's the one that sent me just into like a, wow, okay, all right. Let's everybody fucking put your tits in ice water because it's time to cool them down. Like, come on. So that's... If you see this lawsuit, if you see this in the news, I'm pretty sure this is a nuisance lawsuit trying to extort money out of GameStop for not putting you might be recorded asterisk at the bottom. It's one of those places that looks for
the like
small law breach, brings a lawsuit, tries to make it sound nefarious to get a payout, to get a nuisance, go the fuck away payment.
So stupid.
Because yes, no court in the land is gonna. What? Like what? That's not a thing. Not a thing.
Zendesk.
Anyway,
no, Jeff.
That might have been less dystopian than you originally thought, but I do have more dystopian news. And it has to do with NFTs. I have 2 NFT stories, Amanda. That's all the NFTs I got.
I specifically asked for no NFTs.
You said no NFTs ever again. I can't not abide by that request. So this was, but this is a story where we can all just point at somebody and go, boy. And I thought Loab was a creepy piece of shit. So. I don't know how much people know about this, but during the pandemic, there was an NFT project that was called Axie Infinity. It was like a Pokemon style thing, but the big thing about it was that people in like the Philippines and in some countries in Eastern Asia were like, it was marketed as this thing where people in very poor areas could log into this game and play it essentially, and then earn enough NFT cash to be able to cash it out and get money to live, essentially. There was also another project that had to do with Minecraft skin. It was this weird project. I read all about it. It's so boring. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about time travel. Then 2 things happened. One, Axie Infinity got scammed out of like something like $70 million worth of their fucking crypto bucks. And then Minecraft came out and said no NFTs that involve Minecraft. So both of those projects, the complete and total bottom fell out of them. They became completely worthless and it wasn't useful anymore. So last week in an interview, one of these. This is a feature called from the site called Rest of the World on Kotaku that is talking about. That was talking with this guy that runs this thing called the Wolves DAO. So this person said or typed, quote, Mikhail Kosar, quote, with the cheap labor of a developing country, you could use people in the Philippines as NPCs, real-life NPCs in your game. They could, quote, just populate the world, maybe do random jobs or walk back and forth, fishing, telling stories, a shopkeeper. Anything is really possible. Which I believe just shows you the mentality of the people that are doing these sorts of projects.
Yeah.
That's fucking horrifying.
It's gross.
People are humans and deserve the least respect. I mean, the idea of paying people to do having people that live in impoverished countries get paid shit wages that will be useful to them to go into a video game and pretend to be an AI controlled character in the background and then fucking interact with you in real time typing stuff. It's just like, it's gross.
Yeah.
It's so gross. Like, it'd be like if you, I don't know, like hired a bunch of immigrants to go to a bar and be the people at the bar and keep talking about how awesome you are all night at the bar. It's just really weird. Disgusting. Like, really disgusting. So I just want to point this out because this is one of those things where it's like,
boo that man.
I started to get a little sick. The internet can really overwhelm you, especially right now. It's easy now to just be like, is there anything that's not garbage? Is it all just garbage from top to bottom?
Yeah.
But in a world that's even full of garbage, like, it's all worth pointing at this guy and being like, no, those are people.
Yeah.
Those are like human people.
Yeah.
And
publicly shame the fucking monsters.
Yeah.
Please.
Like, and what you've described is horrible.
Yeah.
Truly horrifying.
And I bet he like patted himself on the back after thinking it up.
Oh man, I've read interviews with these guys that did that stuff where they like, and they were just like, oh no, we are so philanthropic. We're helping these people to be able to earn a living when they previously weren't able to earn one. And it's like, yeah, for like 6 months, but you fucked up. Like, I mean, it's not a career. You're not gonna make a career playing Axie Infinity. Like, and it's also the way Axie Infinity worked was none of the people who lived in those countries could get enough money to actually play the game because you had to buy the dumb NFT blobs to play it. So they literally would have these things, these members called like scholars, I believe, that would essentially buy the NFTs and then let those people use their NFTs, and then they would take like 65% of what they made and give them the other 35%.
Yeah, that's
like, Ponzi, pyramid, sweatshop, exploitation, like a masterclass in just garbage.
Yeah.
Just
don't do it.
Yeah. The other story we had was a pretty standard one. There was a Kickstarter for or I don't know if this was, let's see, I forgot whether this was crowdfunded or just like straight funded, but there was a game called Northern Guilds that was going to be kind of like a Viking MMO type of thing, and apparently it was supposed to be blockchain related, and they are completely out of money, and everything is gone.
Oh, no.
It appears that in a story very similar to one of the previous ones, the people at the company say this happened. Management disputes it. Is that the management took all of the funding that they got and then tried to reinvest it into other crypto to...
We're gonna double our profits, baby.
Yeah. Let it ride. 00 came up once. It's going to come up again. And then they lost everything. Management says, well, we staffed up too fast, and all that money ended up going to like Belgian taxes or something like that. And
we staffed up too fast with a bunch of people that were like, don't invest in more cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Apparently they were all like all the management was gone right, like nobody ever saw them. So then the project couldn't barely even move forward because they had to have people there saying what to do, and they weren't there because apparently they were busy. Part of this article was
like
they were
jerking off in a fucking cyber cafe or something.
Shady Russian nationals and like taking private jets places and stuff.
That's just so weird.
I cannot wait for this. I can't wait for crypto to either one become actually legitimate, because I do recognize that there's some things, but it has to be it can't be what it is. It has to change into something else. Like the idea is fine in concept. It's just the execution. You can't be like, we've made a new currency that is 100% unregulated. Mm-hmm. That's not a thing. Nope. Like we've watched for 2 years as that's not a thing. Like that's not something that works.
Yeah.
Unregulated currency means that people can steal from you and you have no, there's no way for you to get your money back.
Right.
So step one, or for it to finally just burn all the way out to the point where it's just a circle jerk of guys trading NFTs and crypto to each other.
Yeah.
But that they're not trying to push it on the rest of us.
Yeah.
So.
It just, there's a lot of like weird victims in the wake of it, of people who like wanted a job or just, needed the money to survive, or, you know what I mean? The weird interaction. Like it sucks. It's like unfair for like all of that could have been utilized to create something good, and they were just like, right, but like what if it was just a get rich quick scheme, the ones that literally never work for anybody, but sure.
I mean, I feel bad because a lot of the people that invested in it, like, so I feel like there were two sets of people. Is one, you had people that invested early, got a big payout, and then were like, oh, the good times will never end, and then they reinvested and lost it all.
Yeah.
And then the people that came in at the midpoint between those two things to invest at exactly the wrong time and either lost their shit in a scam or lost it because the market crashed.
Yeah.
One of the two. So all right, let's try to get through some of the rest of these. Still got a lot of tabs open. We only have to make it to here, though, Amanda.
Okay.
Then it's all downhill. So Glenn Schofield, who is one of the creators on Dead Space, is now making the Callisto Protocol. Mm-hmm. Did a bit of a tone-deaf whoopsie-daisy on Twitter. Came on Twitter and was like, we're working 6 to 7 days a week. Basically came out and said that the team was working 12 to 15-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week. Nobody's forcing them. It's just like, oh, man, this is just how it is in game development, y'all. And everybody was like, oh, no. Yeah, no, this was it. We are working 6 to 7 days a week. Nobody's forcing us. Exhaustion, tired, COVID, but we're working. Bugs, glitches, perf fixes, one last pass through the audio. 12 to 15-hour days. This is gaming. Hard work, lunch, dinner, working. You do it because you love it. And everybody was like,
no.
So you're the CEO, and if you're working 12-hour days, you may not tell people that they have to work 12-hour days. But the problem is that we all know that, let's say everyone went home after 8 hours and then you work 12 to 15-hour days. We know that you're going to come in and not be happy.
Yeah.
There'll be another pressure. It'll be the teamwork has felt like it's not going super well this week type thing. Anyway, he came out later and offered a retraction apology, saying, anyone who knows me knows how passionate I am about the people that I work with. Earlier, I tweeted how proud I was of the effort and hours the team was putting in. That was wrong. We value passion and creativity, not long hours. I'm sorry to the team for coming across like this. I also read this and I was like, oh, hold on. The way that this is worded is not great. Earlier, I tweeted how proud I was of the effort and hours the team was putting in.
That
was
true.
wrong.
Yeah. I get what he was trying to say, but he said it poorly.
Yes.
Boy.
Well, the thing is that this was pointed to as a lot of people pointed this out. And it wasn't necessarily like, cancel this, don't buy the game, or any of that kind of stuff. It's more just like, look at how far we have to go when it didn't even cross this guy's mind while he was writing that to go like, whoa, wow, 12 to 15 hours, 6 to 7 days a week. Like, why is this normal? Why is it like this?
Yeah.
Like that we're just coming up on the release and this is just an expected thing to do. It's the fucking hockey stick, right?
Yeah.
Like, it takes a really, like, I think it's easier to end up in this than it is to do. There's been a few company like Young Horses, I think, was the one that made bug snacks that they were just like, it took a long time because they were like, we're never crunching.
Yeah.
And then when they were making the Isle of Big Snacks, they were like, and we also went to 4-day work weeks. And that's just how it is, the end. That it's so easy when you've been acclimatized to this to just fall back into that without thinking about it. So, yeah. Let's do one more and then we'll take a break.
Okay.
So, last, we have another bad executive.
Oh God.
But this one's coming from a real strange place. G Fuel.
Oh God.
Gamer Fuel. So there was a whole thing that happened in June where G Fuel fired 7 of their talent managers like on the same day. And it has now come out that apparently the details of that, so apparently the CEO of G Fuel, Cliff Morgan, is kind of a piece of shit. Apparently he was in a big meeting with all of these talent managers, and these are the people that like go out to get people to contact high profile creators and set up sponsorship deals with them.
Okay. Yeah.
Like agents that go out from the company to be like, hey, do you want to do a G Fuel spot? Want to give you X amount of money? You need blah blah blah. Here's the talking points. What can we do to make this go through? PewDiePie, you know? And he's like, so apparently they went on a Zoom call, or like just a call where he called them all lazy motherfuckers right to their face, and he also called them the R word that I used to use when I was younger, but is now a bad word. Responsible. And he told them they had to all step it up. They had to get their sales numbers up. The sales numbers weren't as good this quarter, blah, 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 blah. So he ended the call. At that point, 5 out of the 7 like content people went directly to HR and was like,
wow,
we're
like,
hey,
we're gonna go ahead and start a new call.
No, this is not acceptable. You can't fucking talk to us like that. Also, you can't use that word to describe people anymore. Like, you know, if you called people there's so many slurs that you could call people that is just like and just in general, like even if you're in a high profile meeting, like there's a lot of things that you can say that aren't sketchy.
Yeah.
Like you could be like, you imbeciles, you absolute morons.
Yeah.
How the profits are down this quarter and you're all shirking your responsibilities. Get those numbers up or I'm going to clean house and not a single one of you is safe. Get back to work, you scofflaws.
Like turn into like a 1930s mobster in order to insult people.
Well, you know, I mean, there's a lot of words that you can use that are not motherfucker or R word.
Yeah.
Like there's just other words that you can use to express your displeasure. But I haven't gotten to the part yet because 5 of these 7 people went to HR
and HR was like, goodbye.
That, and the next day all 7 managers were fired.
Oh wow.
All 7 gone immediately. Now this story hadn't come out. What we knew was that the 7 people were let go. We didn't know that what had happened inside of it. Apparently also this CEO guy had a thing where he called some lady on Twitter the C word that rhymes with punt, just like a lying one of those. Like it was like one of these Twitter controversies. Just like G Fuel CEO just showed up in your mentions to call you.
You're a real. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. I was recording with Tessa last week and she was getting ready to leave and she was like, see you next Tuesday. And I was like, what? And she was like, what? And I had explained to her what that was.
They didn't know
she knew what that
see
was.
you next Tuesday is?
No.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, The silver lining of this is apparently G Fuel's sponsorships have been dramatically reduced because all of the
people that were
that were doing the sponsorships had personal relationships with those 7 people that got fired, and when they brought in new faces, they were like, I was really on the fence. I was really doing Jim a favor. Like I was hawking your crappy powdered Gatorade taurine drink. Like, that's cool. I got other sponsors. You know, Skillshare is paying me way more than you guys did anyway. So I don't know.
I get more clicks with dick pills, baby.
Yep. I've never tasted G Fuel before.
Me neither. I hear it's like a pre-workout, but like an energy drink.
I thought it was an energy drink.
Like C4. C4 is also a pre-workout,
I always see,
but also an energy drink.
Jeff Thu from Mother's Basement, the anime channel, does these incredibly intricate and convoluted, like old Scam School style ads for G Fuel on his
That's funny.
channel. And I'm like, I didn't know. So I'm like, I don't think you burn a lot of calories watching anime.
I mean, guess it depends on the kind of anime you're watching.
Shit. All right. And with that, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to see how many more things we can get through. So stick around, and we'll see you then. I mean, in a minute. I don't know why I was signing off. Just don't go anywhere, all right? Just don't go anywhere.
Sit down.
Did they go? Are they still here? Did they sit down?
They're sitting.
They sat right.
They're waiting.
Just in the Starbucks.
They're nodding their head like, God damn it! Like,
okay. You can stand up now. Is all I'm saying. It's fine.
Stretch
I give you permission.
legs.
Yeah. You should stretch more. You can give yourself a little stretch. You know, because we got a lot more news to get through. So. In the continuing saga of Microsoft and their acquisition of Activision, their Activision acquisition, their Phil Spencer and one of the CEOs of Sony are basically publicly kind of fighting right now on Twitter about Call of Duty.
Really?
Yeah, because the thing is that so here's the deal. Microsoft has come out with a lot of statements about Call of Duty. They've talked about how, like, oh, no, we love our PlayStation brothers, and we don't ever want to make Call of Duty like an exclusive thing, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But they've never, like, pledged that. They're always like, oh, no, it's going to be great. Like, there was a thing where Phil Spencer was talking about how they sat down with Sony, and they said, oh, yeah, we're going to totally 3 more years. We've got it all on the schedule. You know, we're totally doing cross-platform or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then last week, or this week, I should say, where is it? Did I have the wrong fucking? Oh no, I don't. I do I have the wrong?
Who are you looking
here?
for?
I'm looking for this quote because one of the CEOs. Oh yeah, okay. So Jim Ryan, the head of PlayStation, came out and said, Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current arrangement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact of our games, of our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle. Like, Phil Spencer came out and was just like, we had this great thing, and we came to this wonderful conclusion that it'll be great for all gamers at all time. And they're just like, you gotta say that you're not gonna take fucking Call of Duty away.
Yeah.
I it's interesting because this is the kind of high tier stuff that like does not get public statements about. Like, these are the things that happened in the back rooms with the cigars and the brandies and stuff. But I think that this is just like too high ball for this guy to just be like, no, we need a pledge that this is not going to go away.
Yeah.
Now, I personally I don't think it's going to go away because, you know what? It really depends on the next 3 years because right now, like Call of Duty Vanguard, last year's Call of Duty that came out, 70% of the sales of that Call of Duty were on PlayStation.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because PlayStation several years back after when it came over to the PS4, Sony started slinging money at Activision to get like the early access and some PlayStation exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
So they developed a really big relationship with Activision that they don't want to see go away. I don't think that Microsoft would spend $4 billion on a company and then cut off like 70% of its revenue. All Activision is all Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So like, I really don't think they would do that. But I also get that like, yes, but I need you to say that you won't do that.
Well, it also kind of sounds like they were like, oh, we will. Because it says like their proposal was inadequate.
Yeah.
So it kind of seems like they were very like, yeah, no, like we're going to keep going forever and ever. But, you're going to not, get all like, no, nothing special for you. You're getting, whatever percentages taken out or what, you know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be like something to make it like totally worthless for them. That it's like, right, we're getting Call of Duty, but it's like no profit for us.
Sure.
Rinky-dink fucking version of the game, whatever. That might be the problem.
One thing that might be the problem, and I had not actually heard this explicitly stated until this week, is that Microsoft did explicitly state that once this is done, Call of Duty is going to be on Game Pass.
Oh.
Which could shift the platform that people are more interested with. PlayStation having shortages. Last week we had a story. Sony is raising the price of the PS5 in every
and
country.
Every other console really threw them under the bus for that when I saw that, because they were like, well, inflation, and then people were like, oh, Microsoft or Xbox going up because of inflation, like PlayStation said that it's inflation, and they were like,
nope,
nuh-uh.
Nope.
And then Nintendo, they were like, Nintendo, like inflation. Nintendo's like, no, we have no desire to raise our prices. It's like, what you talking about, PlayStation?
that ain't how they roll. God damn, I cannot talk today.
It's gonna be a rough.
But then they also confirmed that the next Diablo and the next Overwatch also on Game Pass. Like,
wow,
they really are putting all this shit on Game Pass, which I think that part of that that kind of snitty statement that was put out by PlayStation is like, yes, it is not a problem within the next 3 years, but at the end of the next 3 years, when
it's
like
gonna fuck us over.
Everything, all of those companies, even if Microsoft doesn't make those games exclusive, all of those companies that they're buying when their new games coming out on Game Pass, Elder Scrolls, Starfield, Call of Duty, Diablo, Overwatch, like whatever fucking Double Fine's next thing is, Obsidian's next big game, like the things, the level, the value of Game Pass is going to be spiking dramatically as this stuff comes onto it. And so the idea that like, no, we're just trying to give value to our customers. It's like, right, you're not exactly, but kind of in spirit, giving away things that we charge money for.
Yeah, a lot of money for.
So,
on their side, I get it, right?
Yeah.
On Microsoft's side, I get it. Like we bought all these things, and now it's going to make us look great. But that that not playing nice with each other, has often bit them in the ass. Like when they're on the up and up, both companies do it, where they kind of like laugh in the face of the other, and then when it's the other one's turn, they laugh in the it's just like, okay, but like you guys, the cycle continues anew. But maybe don't forget that you need to have a good relationship with PlayStation, because there will always be new developers, and if PlayStation decides to buy or to have a better exclusive relationship with any new like developer, then don't get mad at them when they put it on whatever their fucking Game Pass is. I don't know. I don't play PlayStation. I don't have that kind of money. This economy, come on.
I think that the problem, the thing that's weird is that Microsoft has changed the entire game, like the way it's been since the NES and the Master System, right?
Yeah.
Is that by buying up these game companies and big game companies, it also, I think, creates kind of a snowball effect where then, like, within 3 years, then the massive profits that these companies make is also going to be going into Microsoft coffers, meaning that, like, who can they buy once that Call of Duty money is coming in? Once 70% of PlayStation people...
Are you talking about the gaming singularity?
I am talking about the gaming singularity. I just, the thing is that I'm starting to get, all this stuff is really interesting, but it was really interesting until you start to, like, see it actually going all the way through and happening, and then extrapolating, like, what does that mean moving forward? Like, Microsoft has wanted for years to get a toehold in Japan, and you know who is flailing around and doesn't seem to know what the fuck they're doing and keeps selling off properties left and right is Square Enix.
Yeah.
So within 3 years, if they are basically pulling in Call of Duty, the best-selling game of all time, outside of, I think Grand Theft Auto 5 might have them beat, but it's like number 2. It's in the top 5, right? On top of the fact that Microsoft is already a huge company with massive cash reserves to, like, start eating things like Square, where Final Fantasy is a Microsoft game. That is a Microsoft property now. Like, not just Square, but Square Enix. Microsoft now owns Dragon Warrior.
Yeah.
The thing where Japan lets everybody take the day off when a new game comes out because they know that they're going to stay home from work to play it anyway.
Yeah.
And, like, that could be a way for them to essentially buy into a full market that they can't get penetration in, but just being like, well, you guys don't want to buy Xboxes, but you're going to buy Final Fantasy, so we're just going to buy the company that makes Final Fantasy. The end, you know.
Wow.
That's the sort of thing that we could be looking at. Like, I don't know. Part of the thing with Microsoft is that they get so goddamn big that it's just like, you know, what if they get big enough to have the money needed to, like, buy do a hostile takeover of Epic and own Fortnite? What if the same company owned Fortnite and Call of Duty and Diablo and World of Warcraft? I mean, just like,
Microsoft's eventually going to get so big that Disney's going to buy it.
There's that. Yeah. Maybe they can, I don't know, maybe they can put out a fun game.
Then all Xboxes are going to be shaped like Mickey Mouse.
You know, we just played that Disney Dreamlight Valley. That thing is on Game Pass. There's got to be something.
It's there. It's starting now. I predicted it.
The gaming singularity.
Well, I guess Devolver Digital predicted it.
In less apocalyptic news, these are all apocalypse lane podcasts.
You were having a bad day, and now it's just turning into I'm making it everybody's problem.
Yep. We got information about the Friends and Family pack that Microsoft announced last week. So I didn't have the details, and I just wanted to say I now have the details. This is going to be a way for multiple people to cover the cost of one Game Pass subscription, further extending the reach of Game Pass.
Yeah. How much is a Game Pass subscription?
I believe that Ultimate, I think it's $10 for just console.
Yeah.
I think it's $15 for Ultimate, which is what I have that covers PC and console. This is $25 with 5 seats. So basically like a friends and family plan where you get 5 Game Pass.
So everyone puts in $5.
Yeah. So basically everybody puts in $5 for a Game Pass subscription, which is just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, it used to be like with that $10 thing, it's like, well, you need to have one full price $60 game every 6 months in order to justify the purchase. But at $5 a month, you need one $60 game a year, and Game Pass is paying for itself.
Yeah.
If there's a single game on that, which just, wow.
Yeah.
Woo. So, yep. But that's, and it's already here. It's like, it's out. It's already released. I was actually thinking about it to be like, I'm wondering if, I was thinking about it. I know Michael, when he bought his Xbox, it came with 2 years of Game Pass. But I was thinking about, like, how many of you guys that I record with, do you guys all want free Game Pass? Like, it's an extra $10 a month for me, and I write that shit off my taxes. You guys can have the other 4 seats amongst you, type of thing. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We also got the news that Microsoft made a new update that did a couple of interesting things. The big one is they now have a sound filter that will recognize people's voices in parties and filter out everything but their voices. So no button clacking, no no breathing, no just like some kid is screaming in the background. It's just like focusing in to just hear the voice so that you can get a clearer voice comms going on, which is great.
Yeah.
It's technology that's totally out there and could work. The other one is really weird. Apparently this only works on mobile and PC, but you can take a like a snapshot of your game, and you can share it, and other people can then take that, and if they have the game, the Xbox will essentially boot the game up from that from where that screenshot is with save data that's stored in that snapshot, and then just let you start playing from there.
Weird.
Yeah. This was something that was actually teased.
So if you find like some like, oh, I haven't found this hidden thing, and somebody finds it in their game and then takes a screenshot, then you found it, and it negates the idea of any of these like.
Oh, yeah. The websites where I've got to watch like a 40-minute video to figure out where the is.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, find the 20 hidden blah, blah, blahs. Like those collector, like Saints Row is full of those.
Yep.
So you could just like find one dude that posts their screenshots and then
get that achievement, baby. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's something that has been kind of like theoretically possible. Like Stadia talked about that, about like if you were streaming a game and it was on Stadia, that somebody could just like hit a button and be like, oh, okay, so then it just loads that save state into another cloud instance, boots the game to that point, and then you can just pick up from there. I was thinking about it. I don't like it because I don't like the ability. I want people to be able to take my dojos and then just be like, oh, now watch me do it. And I was so much better at it than you were. Yeah, I know. And then I believe last on the Xbox parade, we got a new version of the Xbox Elite controller. I don't know how much you know about the Xbox Elite controller. It is...
Is that the one, like it's segmented so you can...
you can take it apart.
He literally did it in the commercial. Yeah. My brother had one.
You could swap out the sticks. You can change the how like much resistance there is.
Yeah, it was really funny because he was like, "We're gonna like hold my control, feel like the tension in the analog stick. Like it feels better, right, than like a regular control." And I'm like. I mean, like, it feels like a controller, you know?
Yeah.
Every controller feels different to me. I don't know. They don't all feel exactly the same. So it was really funny. But like the buttons, like when you're clicking and it feels like, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's, that controller costs like $180.
Yeah, he definitely paid a lot of money for it.
So there's this new version, the Xbox Elite Wireless Controller Series 2, which is $129. However, the original Elite controller comes with the thumbstick adjustment. It also comes with the paddles for the back. It comes with the different size thumbsticks you can put in, the different D-pad, and a carrying case. This one comes with a charging cable and the thing to adjust the thumbsticks.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any of the additional stuff. If you want the additional stuff, Microsoft sells it as a full pack that is like... So this is $129. The full pack is $60. So
you should have just bought the...
Yes. Yes. I think it would have been different if they would have sold each piece separately. So you could do that. I just want the
like I don't want
analog sticks.
Like I don't want to keep extra parts.
Yeah.
What am I, IKEA?
Yeah.
Just give me the fucking things I need.
Also, this is apparently the only way to get the one that's like this two-tone with the white and black.
Well, that's ugly anyway.
Yeah.
Like not just because of the weird money thing, but like that's not cute.
Yeah. So, yeah. This is a little weird. I think that what this is for is, there are two reasons. One, this is for people who like... There is that thing where like you buy the $130 controller this paycheck, and then like 6 months later you buy the expansion kit when you've got a little bit more money.
Yeah.
As opposed to spending a whole $200 on a controller all at the same time.
Or if you're like getting something for friend and you're thinking about getting them that controller, I'm gonna get them the like pack to go with it, that, you know what I mean, like two people going in on something.
And also, I mean, you can adjust the thumbsticks. It does have the thumbstick adjustment tool. They have this piece in the middle, which is like you can program different like layouts into the controller and switch between them on the fly, so you can like remap buttons and what they do to change the way things work. So it still has the functionality, it just doesn't have all of the expanded parts. But the other thing that they announced is that later this year, they're also going to be opening up that version of the Elite controller to the Xbox controller design lab, where you can make it, you can put different colored parts on it and make your own, you know, custom with various designs and stuff. So I think that it probably was just like a revision, a price drop, changing it out, and then getting a SKU that they can put all this stuff in. So controllers are way too goddamn expensive anyway. I'm not about to spend that amount of money on a controller. I've got $1 million $60 controllers here.
I was gonna be like, and then like half of the fucking games stop reading your controller.
That hasn't happened in a long time. I fixed that problem. Except for you, Disney.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. We also had some PlayStation 5 hardware stuff. In Australia, there is a new model of the PS5, the 1200 model of PS5. So there was already one revision from the 1000 to the 1100, and now there's the 1200 model. These are the models that will be going up in cost.
Yeah.
There was like a YouTube video where this guy did like a teardown, and they showed that it seems like the internal machine parts, the heat sinks, the fans and everything have been further optimized. It's lighter. It's like a little bit lighter than because the first revision was lighter than the launch model, and this one's lighter than that version. It also draws slightly less power, 20 to 30 watts less power than the launch model does.
Okay.
All of this actually seems to indicate that this would be the version where the price goes down a little bit, because they've done the work to get the machining of the parts to a point where they can, you know, they can switch it out.
Capitalism wins again.
But yeah, Sony really thinks that the PS5, they're starting to get that big head again, man. They're starting to get that Sony head. So I still think that they need to redesign the entire outside of the console, because I hate it. The longer I have it, the more...
All the consoles are kind of ugly.
I'd rather have...
No, that's a lie. The Switch is cute as fuck.
I'd rather have a rectangle monolith Xbox than this weird swoopy-doopy, and like dust accumulates in the downward dippy parts.
Yeah. I really want to get you a little caveman ape thing to put next to the monolith of the Xbox, so it always just looks like it's just
like a tiny little group of apes down there. Just like, I wanted the fridge.
We don't bother them.
I wanted the fridge so bad.
I know.
I wanted the fridge so bad.
We all wanted you to get the fridge.
The mini fridge. There were also some updates to the PlayStation. So they literally, I want you to watch this. This is a 17-second trailer that Sony put out that is just like announcing that the PS5 can do 1440p. This trailer is like showing that the PlayStation can now do a slightly different resolution.
Yeah.
There's really not much to do in a trailer showing that.
Yeah.
But they sure put one out.
Good for them.
1440p is like the nice half step between 1080 and 4K.
Yeah, that was kind of funny though, is to show that it's not 4K. They're like, 4K is still better, and it's like, well, why are you showing me this?
So the reason that 1440p tends to be very popular right now is because 1440p usually represents a place where you can have ray tracing turned on, but the frame rate's still high, because you don't have to render a full 4K frame. So it's higher resolution than 1080p, but not such a high resolution that your frame rate drops because of how much detail has to be rendered. So strangely though, variable refresh rate gets turned off when you go to 1440p, which is a tech that reduces screen tearing and bad quality. So there's 3 resolutions that the PS5 can be at, and this is the only one that doesn't do that. I can't imagine that this isn't going to be patched in at a later date.
Right.
So the other thing that was put in was you can now make folders. You can make game lists that have like specific sets of games in them. Like this is another one of those things like Cyberpunk where I'm just like, the shit should have been in there at launch.
Yeah.
Sony's UI is garbage. I hate the PS5 interface. The PS4 interface was clean, nice, easy, back, forth, up, down.
That is also like a weird thing for me is the like they're like fixing things that weren't broken.
Yes.
Like, well, I don't understand. You guys saw this and everyone was like real cool with it. And then you went, oh, I'm going to do something better. And then you did something worse. And now you have to like try to backtrack to what it was.
Every, over the years, I've seen every single software like interface manufacturer does this dumb shit where they're like, no, the thing that we need to do is optimize it so that the end user has to do as few motions as possible to get to the thing that we want them to get to. What that invariably means is taking like useful UIs for finding stuff, for like navigating through directories and stuff, and turning them into garbage. But I remember reading an article a little while back talking about how millennials and Zoomers don't put things into folders on their computers. Like their desktop is just all icons because they can just open up a start menu in Windows and type what they're looking for, and they're so used to like phones and stuff. That's what they do, so they don't bother to create folder structures.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a millennial and I create folders, but I also worked a lot on the computer in my young adult career, so I think I just had to, otherwise I would have. Yeah. With all the files and all the shit I had, no.
I take mine as a now it's a source of it's a survival tool. I think there's been a few times where I've been doing recordings and then it crashes to desktop, and it's like, if my computer crashes to desktop, I don't want there to be anything on my desktop for you to look at. I don't want you to see like Jeff's taxes, Jeff's secret porno folder, blah 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 blah. You know,
Jeff,
like,
stop naming it that.
Secrets I don't want anybody to know. Yeah. New folder, which is just more pornography. So, no,
new folder plus. I don't know.
Are you guys kidding me? It's 2022. Who saves pornography on their computer?
Okay, this is totally off of nothing. But Bo Burnham has a song about being an unpaid intern. Yeah, and one of the things is you can't afford like anything because you're an unpaid intern, so you just go home and torrent to porn. And I'm like, who's torrenting a porn? Like.
I don't need the whole thing.
Right?
What are you talking about?
What? No unpaid intern is torrenting a porn.
Nope. Now,
it's hilarious.
Not to get too into the weeds because we have places to go, but I used to back before there were a billion streaming sites.
There was like a point to it before, but like Bo Burnham is younger than you and I, and he still said torrent a porn. I'm assuming and hoping that it's just for the lyric, but I can't help but assume that he has torrented porn.
How would you even know what to anyway, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. In other PlayStation news, The Last of Us Part 1 came out last week, and people think that old Naughty Dog might have hidden a bunch of clues for their next game.
Oh, you old Naughty Dog.
In some of these new pictures that are on the wall that show like a lady and a dragon and like a wolf thing. It is unclear. This news story went into the whole history of the rumors of Naughty Dog's next game.
Does Naughty Dog do that? Do they hint at their next game and their?
They did have a tease for The Last of Us in Uncharted, the last Uncharted game that happened before that. So possibly. From these blurry, grainy screenshots, it is unclear exactly what the fuck.
My big problem with everyone that has the internet and access to like Zoom now is that everyone became a conspiracy theorist or like an Easter egg hunter.
Right.
And so this is why Marvel became so insufferable to watch, because everyone would be like, if you look at the top left corner in this scene in like fucking any WandaVision, you know it's Mephisto because there's an M, and it's like, right, well, I mean, they're at like a bar and it's called Marv's, and the M would probably be from that. No, but they didn't show anything else. Is Mephisto, and it's like, okay, guys, Jesus Christ.
I think my favorite like Easter egg from any of the Marvel shows was the OG Halloween costumes for Wanda and Vision, where he's like, I'm a luchador, and she's like, I'm a fortune teller, and it's like, oh, that tracks, that's fine.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, this is the fortune telling garb that comes from the made up country that I come from, and it's like, all right, and yeah, that Vision outfit does have some slight luchador tones to it.
It does.
Doesn't really have a mask, but whatever.
That's fine.
Let's see.
Anyway, it turns out that the Mephisto was really the friendships we made along the way.
That's true. Speaking of new games, we got a little bit of information on this last week. Last week, we got the last leak of all leaks of the new Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Mirage, that was then confirmed by Ubisoft. That's was originally going to be a spinoff from Valhalla, but is now going to be its own new game. I'm very cautiously optimistic because all the reports have been like, no, we're making it old school Assassin's Creed where it's just like half stealth action third person and not this dumb RPG thing. But by the time you hear this,
it'll be the future.
It will be the future, and there are supposed to be multiple Assassin's Creed games revealed in their next thing. So
they're having a big Assassin press conference.
Yeah, this is coming out on Sunday. The day before on Saturday, they're having Ubisoft Forward. But the rumors from this Ubisoft Forward are that there are going to be 3 additional Assassin's Creed games in addition to the one I just described.
So that's 4, Jeff. That'd be 4 games.
Yep. One is supposed to be a phone game, so I don't give a shit because phone games suck.
Burn it.
And then the other 2, one is supposed to be an open world Japanese game, which people have wanted that in the Assassin's Creed timeline for a long time. And then the other one, I believe, was the Holy Roman Empire, like later Roman empires. We had the early Roman one with the Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
But then these are those 2 are rumored to be part of Assassin's Creed Infinity, because I don't know how much you know about any of this stuff. Probably nothing, because it's kind of
don't assume my vacant stare means I know nothing.
Assassin's Creed wants to do this new thing where you download this client called Assassin's Creed Infinity, and then every 6 months you get the ability to buy a new micro campaign that all branches out of the same launcher, essentially.
Okay.
I think it sounds like a terrible idea because inevitably they won't keep up with the development, and so it'll fall behind and then eventually be useless. But I don't know. I mean, the thing is that Ubisoft is one of those companies that's burned me hard, and I don't really like them anymore.
Yeah.
I still would like, if they put out something that looked good, I would play it. I played Immortals Phoenix Rising and won't shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is actually make a game I'm interested in and then put it out, and I will play it.
Go ahead, Ubisoft. Balls in your court.
I double dog dare you.
Double dog.
The double dog dare. Also,
what's the matter,
week,
Ubisoft? You chicken? I'm sorry. I just thought maybe that would help.
Tencent has invested a big chunk of money into Ubisoft.
What's Tencent?
So Tencent is a Chinese company that owns a lot of holdings in different video game companies. They've got stakes in Epic Games, Riot, Supercell, Frontier, Sumo, Turtle Rock, Playtronic, and Digital Extremes, which for anybody listening, I wouldn't expect anybody to know what all those are, but
I know some of them.
No Epic, yeah. So Tencent has apparently wanted to get in with Ubisoft for a long time now, but they have apparently been blocked by the Guillemots because Ubisoft is a family-owned company, and they do not want to let any control loose from the company. This week, they basically allowed Tencent to buy some stock, raising their ownership in the company, but with a very specific agreement. One, that they will have no say on the board of directors, and two, that they are not allowed to sell that stock for 5 years. So
interesting.
But
you're locked in. Good luck.
Yeah. But Chinese companies, they take the long-term approach. So last week, Tencent and Sony bought 30% of FromSoft. Last week.
Yeah.
So they're kind of on a spending spree as well. This goes back to my whole the blobs are all starting to come together into the one big blob.
Follow the money. Look where the money goes.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see if this makes any difference. I don't know. There was a lot of early
maybe
on,
5 years from now.
Like when Tencent bought into Epic, there was a lot of conspiracy talk online that Tencent is secretly an arm or in collusion with the Chinese government. They're going to use their stake in Epic to basically take American customer data and then funnel it over to the Chinese government.
I'm not trying to be weird or...
You're not?
Yeah, well, that's
what
fair.
are we doing?
But there is a microphone in front of you. No, I just that sounds like it rooted from racism. The Chinese company from China, I bet they're using all their resources to get to the government. Do you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is that any company that operates in China has to be sanctioned by the Chinese government.
Yeah.
Because of the way China operates, they have to have closer ties to the Chinese government. At the end of the day, I fail to see what... I mean, I'm not trying to make that if we've got nothing to hide, then you blah, 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 blah. But if China knows what games I bought off of the Epic Game Store, I'm trying to figure out what the harm is to me in that scenario.
That shit is always really funny to me. They're collecting all my information, and it's right, well, they know that you Google recipes all the time. I don't know what you think it's gonna do.
I think that most people that are mad at that stuff don't even know what Google or what Facebook Pixel is. Facebook is monitoring all of your browsing habits, not even and it's not spyware, it's built into websites.
Y'all people act like this shit is happening without your knowledge or whatever. A lot of things you guys agree to all the time. Walgreens has a reward system. You plug in your phone number and whatever. There's new stories, and then other people came out about it. A woman had to take a pregnancy test because to test for something else. It wasn't about pregnancy. It's her doctor was well, if it comes out positive, it'll actually tell us this other thing. I forget what it was. And so she bought a pregnancy test, used her rewards membership. The rewards membership also, you're signing an agreement to let them use that information however they want. They sell that information to formula baby companies, and they sent her a package of formula. This is during the formula shortage, with a congratulations. One, no proof that she actually was pregnant. Two, what if she was pregnant but miscarried between the time she took that pregnancy test and got that? It's great. That is intrusive in a way.
There is a Walgreens down the street from my house, and I used to go there a lot because they're open 24 hours. And every time I went there, they would be like, "Do you want to sign up for reward? Enter your rewards number." I don't have one. Do you want to sign up for one? I'd be like, "No." Why not? And I'm like, because I will pay the additional 15% not to have a company know everything that I buy from you. And they were like, what? And I was like, what do you think? Why am I being rewarded?
Yeah.
Why do you think they're incentivizing me to do this?
The fact that when you use any rewards anywhere, any stores that do it, they'll start giving you coupons that are specific to your shopping habits. So if you're constantly buying soda at Walgreens, and I'm sorry that I keep using Walgreens as it's just like the best example.
Sure.
But if you're like always go for like a late night snack and a soda at Walgreens, then they're not gonna give you coupons for like
baby formula.
Baby formula. They're not gonna give you know what I mean. They're not gonna give you like coupons or try to push. They're like we're having a sale right now on our like sleeping aids and you don't buy that. You buy caffeine from them.
Right.
So they're gonna just sell you that. And it's all over the place. It's all the time.
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, I guess at the end of the day, what this leads back to is your data's all over the fucking place.
It's already there.
You messy bitch. It's everywhere. You're splashing data everywhere.
This shit is also the equivalent of when there's a new filter where everyone uses it for their Facebook like profile picture where it's and then people go, well, now the Russian government has your face. And it's like, I have an Instagram full of my face. They didn't need me to upload a picture onto a filter company. Like, that's stupid.
My favorite one that I don't think a lot of people know is that by default, like if you have an Android phone, Google Maps GPS will be turned on. Like if you leave it on, and by default, Google Maps records your GPS information.
Yep.
Like not just like where you are, but like where you went and where you went back. And that information is stored. Like you can literally go and do a scrape and see where you've been. Like you can literally be tracked. You're just carrying around a tracker in your pocket.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's like I found that out, and I was just like, oh fuck no! Like I almost went full flip phone crazy, where I was just like, nope.
That's just it's so funny to me. Like it's just funny to have people on their phones tweeting about it, about like, duh, you guys are sheep, like this doing this or getting into that. I don't need that in my life. And it's like you're literally holding the
volunteering
thing.
your information about how you feel about the government online with a thing with your face attached to the profile.
Yeah.
So
it's so funny.
All right. Well, speaking of things you can carry around in your pocket, sort of, there's some new Steam Decks on the horizon.
Good. I still can't afford one, so.
Yep. The top priorities, apparently, according to Valve, are streaming options, perhaps better battery life and better performance in a different kind of overall shell. So no timeline, no specifics, just like we're working on it. That makes sense. I believe the Steam Deck is probably the most profitable thing that Steam has put out in years, and it also, every Steam Deck that people shell out money for is connected to a store full of things that Valve gets money if you spend money on them. So
I love it. I want it.
Yep.
Give it to me now.
Let's see. Speaking of streaming, this is kind of gaming adjacent, but last week Twitch removed the /host command from Twitch.
Why?
Stupid is why.
That's fair.
So, if for anybody that doesn't know, if you're, this is how I did all of the E3 stuff for RageSelect.
Yeah.
Was I /hosted one of the channels that was streaming it, and then we would just use our own chat because the chat is garbage. For if there's more than like 25 people in a chat room, it's shit. I know why this is. It's because Twitch is replacing this with what they call recommended, where instead of being able to just host somebody while you're offline, if you go to somebody's channel and they're not online, Twitch will recommend other channels to you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Their reasoning for it is incredibly stupid and flimsy, where they say that because you can host somebody else's channel and because you'll be in the chat of the channel that is hosting, boy, it fucks up the engagement and people aren't engaging in the right way, and streamers are losing valuable advertising and like audience time because people are in on they're in another chat. It's real confusing and people don't know how to use Twitch, and it's like that's bullshit.
No,
Everybody
the
knows.
people who use Twitch know how to use Twitch. That's stupid.
You don't want them highlighting smaller creators. You want to funnel everybody into the same larger creators because that gives them more money, which gives you more money.
Well, that's just going to up people raids then.
Yes. Raids will still be working. But
yeah, because I used to... I followed for a while a lot of Twitch streamers, especially wrestlers that were Twitch streaming during the pandemic. And we were doing a lot of like, when they ended, if there was anybody that they were friends with still going, then it would just like send everyone. Yeah, you would just all go there, and they're going to have to do that. And that is it, because there's no other way to support any other user.
It sucks, but this is, at this point,
that's the YouTubeification of Twitch, if anything.
Twitch, Twitch makes YouTube look good. Like, and that's saying something.
How dare you? Nothing makes YouTube look good.
Man, what was the one where Metallica was playing at BlizzCon?
Oh my god!
And it literally DMCA'd them
themselves,
and they copyrighted them and muted their music on their stream when they were live playing on a sanctioned thing that they did. Do you remember when they announced that Guardians of the Galaxy game with all of the placeholder music because Square was so paranoid about playing the music from the game, and it all sucked? And then everybody was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! Go to YouTube! Go to YouTube!" Because on YouTube they were playing the full fat like 80 songs as opposed to like this placeholder horse shit. They've done nothing but shit. Like they're garbage. Kicking the way that they're kicking certain smaller creators off. I mean, don't get me wrong, YouTube is total garbage too. There's that whole thing going on with that that guy that got all his black creator who got all his stuff copyrighted.
Yes.
And then like it's now gone to this thing where like PewDiePie and Markiplier and them are playing like NSFW games with huge amounts of censorship on them to see if they'll be age gated.
Well, yeah, because he did a like comparison of that he played the same games as them sometimes, and he would get age gated, they wouldn't. He would get like copyright stricken, but they wouldn't all the time. So, and apparently he's popular enough that like people knew about him, but he's not a Markiplier as far as level of popularity, or like a PewDiePie or Jacksepticeye, I think did a yeah.
Who's the name? I gotta call this. I can't just say random person.
I only know like the outskirts of the story because I follow Markiplier. I'm a pretty big fan.
That didn't work. I meant to type in creator and I typed in black YouTube.
And for some reason it was like Pearl Jam.
Controversy. Let's try that.
Oh God.
Controversy.
You are not good at one hand typing.
I am not. No, hold on. I can find this.
Yeah.
It was on Philip DeFranco had it on his show. So,
oh yeah. Now we're on a hunt. If I find it before you, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
No, do it. You're gonna miss it. You're gonna find it before me. I can't tell because
Corey X Kenshin against Google's video share. Yeah,
maybe that's it. Yeah.
Kotaku got me there, baby. This guy.
Yeah, that's him. Yep. I mean, I don't do a lot of drama stuff.
I just know how to look it up better than you.
or I don't do a lot of like YouTube is garbage, you guys. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like they've been like, I refuse to play any YouTube games, and they've been like fucking my fucking RageSelect for a long time.
Oh yeah.
All of our Immortality vids got limited ads.
Okay.
Because of the boobs and the butts.
I was gonna say, but like in fairness, there was like
it wasn't full frontal. Well, it was slight full frontal nudity. There were some simulated sexual activities going on.
Oh my God, because John played more than us. There are very simulated sex acts.
Actually, but it was what's
that
funny.
Game is very sexual.
YouTube has really stepped it up because the podcasts are all limited. Are all limited now.
They're like, you talk too much.
Yeah. Well, you talk for 2 hours and change. There's going to be some horse shit that you say that they're just like,
yeah.
What?
We didn't even say see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. Elden Ring has a comedy manga. This is really weird. Like,
why?
Somebody started doing this, and it's like officially sanctioned by FromSoft, and it's like actually very good art. I was reading some of it.
That's the art from it?
Yeah.
That header they use?
You can read it on Comic Walker, where it's like it's very serious. It's like an actual manga. But like the main character is stupid, and all the things happening are really weird. Like it starts out with like the same beginning, but then the Tarnished that comes out. It's like this real comedy conversation where Torrent is very much just like, no, yeah, this guy. And like Melania's like, how do I make sure that he doesn't lose the flasks? And so she sticks them to the Tarnished butt as he comes out. It's very weird. Yeah. It's very, very weird. You can read it for free. It's on Comic Walker. But it's very strange. And apparently it's officially sanctioned. So
the art is beautiful though.
Yeah, it looks very good. There's two chapters of it up already. So, it's just, there's
a lot of butt action in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of butts. Speaking of butts, Nintendo is suing one butt of a company for $72 million.
Ooh, I want $72 million.
Actually, sorry, not Nintendo. The Pokemon company is doing that. There is a Chinese company called Shenzhen Intermediate. No, they're suing in the Shenzhen Intermediate People's Court. A company that is basically just like straight up ripping off Pokemon for Chinese apps, and they use like Pikachu and Ash in their like directly in their marketing.
Yeah,
it's like we don't fucking care. We don't fucking care. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Yeah. I mean, it's weird because China is kind of Wild West. Like they don't tend to care, and like they don't tend to care all the way to the top where it's just like, well, is it making money for our people? Then I don't care. Like I don't care about your electric rat. Get out of here, So
many people care about that electric rat.
Well, speaking of care about that electric rat,
I've sent this to so many people.
We got some Pokemon trailers today. One of them's for the new Switch OLED model, the Scarlet and Violet edition.
I want it so bad. Yep. I was like, I have a Switch. I don't even remember what it's called. The Lite, like it's not the, it's just handheld. Yep. And then John has the regular Switch, like the OG Switch that came out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, do we need
the OLED? That's how Nintendo did their price increase, was they made the OLED version.
Yeah, but it was enough to be like, that's neat, but I'll never want it. And then they were like, okay, but this is the Scarlet and Violet version. I'm like, I might.
Yeah?
Yeah, I might.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
I've been playing it a lot lately. And
you could probably still sell one of your other Switches for a profit. I mean,
no, we don't do that. We keep them like a museum of our past.
Do you need 3 Nintendo Switches in the same household?
Do you know how many Game Boys I have?
No.
Every generation, at least one, including the gray brick.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And then all of them are purple.
Okay.
I don't have a purple Switch.
This one's kind of purple.
This has purple.
This has some purple. It's pretty good. It's got pictures of the big Pokemon. It's got
the legendaries.
Yeah, there's like a crimson side and a purple side, and then some like stenciling on the back.
Would you say a scarlet side and a violet side by chance?
No.
Okay.
No, I would not.
I don't know color theory, so that's you.
I didn't take a whole semester of that horse shit. We also got a full new trailer for Scarlet and Violet.
Some new Pokemon.
Seek your trailer, or Seek your treasure, showing kind of the things that you can do in the world. They showed the Baddos, apparently, Star Team or Team Star, or whatever, led by what I'm sure is this week's favorite waifu on the internet. That
I mean, at least for 5
lady.
Minutes, yeah. She's cute.
All these Team Star guys and gals, they look like a bunch of nerdos.
I know. I kind of like it.
They're fucking terrible.
I like the idea that I can beat them up.
Yeah. And then there's like this weird fucking hot rod punk rock.
Yeah, she's a fucking babe.
Rocker. Mila.
God.
It's like the fire.
So many people are going to.
These fire boots, they're huge.
Yeah, she likes Kiss.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. And then they showed, the aforementioned giant crab rock monster guy.
Yeah, he looks stupid. I feel like this whole generation of Pokemon is like, how stupid can we make them look?
Clough.
Yeah.
And then they showed there's going to be a bunch of gym battles, bunch of gym trainers.
Yeah.
So
of course, there's always gym trainers, except for Arceus, which didn't have gyms.
You know what? I feel like this entire Pokemon way more than our Arceus, or whatever, and way more than Sword and Shield is like a thirst trap for the internet. Like, I feel like they know what they're doing.
I don't know if they know what they're doing.
You don't think they know what they're doing?
I don't know if anyone could predict how horny the internet has been lately.
I don't know if that. I think it's just been like simmering below the surface, and then we all had to stay at home, and it just exploded.
Right, it just became a weird thing where it'd be like a trailer, and they're like a tall woman, and everyone's like, "Get me some of that," and it's like, "What? You guys need to calm down."
Like, are you familiar with the weird ab waifus, like the waifus with rock hard abs?
Yes, yeah, but yeah, people are getting.
They're getting weird.
Rule explicit.
You get real weird with it. Yeah, I feel like this trailer was full of stuff.
My favorite part of the trailer is the running with the sunflowers because I feel like that would be horrifying in real life.
Yeah.
Like just flowers start chasing you.
Yeah. Yep. They show a little gym battle.
Sorry. This guy Brassius looks all tough and he sends an olive.
Yeah. A small olive.
And then he sends the fucking tree. Like, little worse. You couldn't do worse if you tried, man.
He crystallized that pseudo wood.
Yeah, pseudo wudo. He's not a. You would think he'd be a grass type. No, sir. He is a rock type.
What?
He's a rock tree.
He's a petrified.
He looks like a tree,
but he's a rock.
But he's a fucking rock.
Yep.
I think. I don't remember.
I don't know. This one looks like they took Arceus and then they just like made it way more than it was,
which is kind of what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, good.
Yep. Agreed. Let's see. We also got a full-on close tab. We got a full overview trailer for Sonic Frontiers. 3 whole minutes describing what this game is. Apparently, Sonic and friends are going on a trip, and then they get waylaid onto this island. Or they get trapped in cyberspace. They have to get out of cyberspace, and then they're on the weird empty island that has nothing on it. And they've got to find all the Chaos Emeralds and do a bunch of stuff. And it all looks very empty to me.
Isn't this what the Kirby's Forgotten Lands or whatever we just played that just came out? I can't remember the name of it.
I don't know.
Wasn't that essentially the same thing? Like he got transported, remember, and then he ends up on that place that looks like it should have a bunch of humans, but there's no one, and there. But
that one had like ruins of civilization. This just looks like Sonic levels just glued onto a big open world map. Like, and they're enemies, and they look bad, and they don't look fun to
I wish
fight.
their enemies weren't so generic looking. Like, it's just like robot monster.
Yeah.
But like not even, it's shaped like a bug or something. Like now they're just like, I don't even know. It just looks like spare parts attacking you.
Yeah. It looks real boring. It looks real fucking boring to me. So
yeah.
Still looks real boring to me. Love to be wrong. Love to be proved wrong, Sonic. You do Sonic, but
what if this is the Breath of the Wild of all Sonic games?
It looks like that's what they want to do, but then they forgot to like populate the world with stuff.
They forgot to make a game around it.
Yeah, well, the thing is that I was thinking about. I mean, it's not fair to it's not fair to compare Sonic to Elden Ring or Sonic to Zelda.
Yeah.
But like those open worlds had a lot more in them than what I'm seeing in this trailer.
Yeah.
Like the occasional enemy.
I think it's fair to compare to an open world if they've decided to go out into an open world. Like you made an open world game that looks and reminds people of things like Breath of the Wild, then you have to deal with the comparisons that you have asked for.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. It looks terrible to me. I'll be happy to be proven wrong. I love to be proven wrong. I never want any game to be bad. I want all games to be the best games.
All good games.
So, we got an expanded version of the last Homeworld trailer from Gamescom that shows kind of the mission that they teased, which is like kind of mining this big space wreck and repairing this gate. And then they show a lot of like, and then their raiders popped out. So they show a lot of using the terrain in this giant space station of like going around behind these floating panels to avoid getting shot. I really have high hopes for this. I love Homeworld. I love the aesthetic of Homeworld. One of the things that was interesting in here was that I don't know how much this factors in, but one of the pilots in these little ships had like a name. He was like, this is Joseph Campos fucking taking in Squadron 1.
Yeah.
And then like later on, they kind of have a part where that squadron has to sacrifice itself to buy time for bombers to come in.
Joseph, no!
And he literally is like, all right, I'm signing off. Good luck, you guys. I hope you make it. And they're like, and it's like, oh, I would love for that to be a thing.
Kill yourself for me.
There just aren't that many like space combat games, and there are really few space strategy games like this, like real-time space strategy games.
This looks cool, though, like epic.
Yeah. They show like doing captures because they make this gate come online, and then there's like an enemy carrier comes out, and then they have to start manufacturing like frigates to attack the carrier and like protecting their supply lines and stuff. And this is exclusively, this video is the genre of books I read. This is what I read when I read books. But like there aren't that many games, and the Homeworld games I used to like them, but they were so hard.
Yeah,
they were so hard. And then they made these remasters, and as near as I can tell, they were broken when they came out, and they never fixed them because there's a whole thing where you can
disappointing.
Make your ships go into different formations, and then those formations confer different bonuses. Like some will be more defensive, some will be faster.
Yeah,
and they broke the formations when they re-released the like remaster.
Well, that seems like that's like
important.
Yeah,
like,
sort of a relevant thing to worry about.
Yep. So I don't know if they ever fixed it. That's when that guy is like, well, I'm checking out.
Goodbye.
And then the bombers come in and fucking blast that stuff. But yeah, it's really cool. I love the aesthetic of Homeworld because they have to put these really long trails on both weapons and engines so that you can
keep track of everything.
Yeah, what's happening, like what's going where.
But it looks cool.
It's very, very cool looking, very like clean and technical and stuff.
Yeah.
So, can't wait to check that out. Let's see. What else do we got? We got an 18-minute trailer for Tales from the Borderlands, an 18-minute gameplay video with the 3 main characters. This is pretty good. I liked some of this stuff. There were a couple of good gags. There was a Metal Gear gag where this one guy is like, they have to sneak past this guy, and the guy's like, oh man, all right, no, I've got a plan. And he's like, he gets a box. He's like, I'm going to put this box on, and then I'm going to walk out. And when the guy turns around, I'm going to go down on the ground. As long as he doesn't see the box move, it'll be just like, oh, that's just a box. And so like he goes out a little bit, and then he sets it down, and the guard turns around and looks, and he goes, hey, it's a guy in a box.
No, it's not.
And he immediately has to do this little mini game that's like a Mortal Kombat. They've got these little collectible figures, and so they have to do this little Mortal Kombat thing where they're both collectors, and then they do a little fight.
That's funny.
But yeah, it looks real clean, and I got a chuckle out of a few parts of it, which is good.
Yeah, I thought they're like with Tiny Tina's blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The humor just never evolved. Like it still sounded like old Borderlands.
Oh, no, I love this part where these 3 guys are trying to find the entrance to this vault, and they're like, it could be anywhere. And they're like, are you sure this isn't it? They're looking at rocks. They're like, I don't know. They said they hide them. They're like, yeah, try it. No, you should try it. And so he takes this vault key, and he's just like shoving it into this rock, like where nothing is. And like, do it harder.
Cram it in there.
So yeah, it looks good. It also looks really nice.
Yeah,
it's nice to see Borderlands not from a first person perspective, but like using their artistic style to kind of be zoomed out. I really like the Fran character, who's like kind of got like this hover wheelchair.
Yeah,
but
she's like a diner, like a 50s diner outfit.
But she also has a bunch of tattoos and piercings, so she's got that kind of like roller derby meets 50s thing going on. And she's totally has the hots for like the main character. So like when he wins the little plastic toy fight battle, this other character is this character's sister, and she's just like, what the fuck happened there? And she's like, oh, he won. I'm all but the characters look really nice. They animate really well.
Yeah,
the cell shaded style is like not overbearing to the point where it's hard to look at. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I never played the first one, but this looks like it's pretty good. So, unfortunately, Amanda did not get a chance to watch 18 minutes of
work. I'm sorry. I tried to leave.
That's all right.
They said, no, you have to work. And I was like, no.
I've got to be on a podcast. They were like, that's
this week
no excuse.
Sucked too. Everyone was gone. My whole crew was gone. I'm consistently the one that they're like, we have a million cleaning projects. They're all yours.
Oh, jeez.
And then everyone was gone, so it was just like nonstop me doing stuff. I don't want to.
We also got a 5-minute Gamescom gameplay trailer for Flintlock. It's interesting. This was a game that was announced a little while back, where it's like this lady and she's got like a weird magic fox cat thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember that.
And the whole kind of point of this is like, oh, we discovered gunpowder, so we're going to go kill all the gods because they're assholes, because they're like Greek gods that are assholes. When I first looked at this, I thought it was going to be very Soulsy. Like, it looked very Soulsy. But after watching this and really digging into what's happening in this gameplay loop, it looks more like God of War. Like, it seems more like a God of War.
Yeah, I get that.
Because there's not a stamina bar to keep track of, you know. And you've got these kind of like the fox is like, seems like it's got some charges. There's like execution moves. It just looks a lot like God of War, but like with the new lady main character.
It looks cool.
Yeah, some cool action. This is coming to Game Pass too, but some, you know, another good place to check stuff out. So yeah, if you haven't checked that out, good little montage. It shows all the kind of big action, big bosses and stuff. Looks pretty fun.
Nice.
Gundam Evolution got a release date, as well as the announcement that Gundam Unicorn is going to be in it. This is the Gundam Overwatch game that they made. So it's a first-person 6v6 hero shooter.
God, yeah.
But with all different Gundams.
Yeah.
So,
oops, all Gundams.
And Zaku's, as well as a few other things that I don't know what they are, because I don't know everything about Gundam. But yeah. It's been in the works for a while. I was just saying last week, when is this shit coming out? And they answered that question. Look at the number of Gundams that are going to be in this game.
Holy shit, that's a whole line.
These like hero. Each one of these is a different character.
Yeah.
So yeah, September 22nd on the PC, January on the console, January 12th consoles. Wow. So we're going to check it out. Free to play with microtransactions. Also, Gundam Unicorn is going to be in there, and I fucking love that guy. So we'll see what happens. River City Girls 2 got a trailer for the villains, which was cool. Can't wait for this one. Apparently, the lady that was the evil one in the first, was the main villain in the first one, is part of the Yakuza, and her dad busts out of prison to, you know, take revenge on those River City Girls.
Yeah.
And also, they announced there's going to be 4-player co-op in the game.
Ooh, nice.
So, it's like some pretty good stuff.
Fun.
Mm-hmm. From Amanda and I's favorite, Free Lives has created has put out a trailer for a new game called Stick It to the Stick Man, which is reminiscent of
old YouTube.
Yeah, Stick Fighter from old YouTube.
Yeah, that's like classic internet.
Mm-hmm.
You kids wouldn't understand.
It's going to be a roguelike where you're like in a job and then you just keep going up and smashing people and getting like upgrades and weapons and stuff.
I'm going to buy the fuck out of this game. God damn it.
Yeah. I think it's going to, I don't know if it'll probably come to Switch eventually, but I think it's launching on Steam and on phones.
That's fine. I want the Steam Deck. I'll just get it on that eventually.
Yeah. But you bet your sweet Bippy that you and I are going to be playing it when it comes out.
Hell yeah, we are. You kidding me?
Free Lies. I'm still waiting for Angerfoot, man.
Oh my God, me too. I was just thinking about that game.
Angerfoot is so awesome.
It was so fun and stupid and fun.
It's funny. I told Bryce that we played Cricket Through the Ages, and he really like rolled his eyes at it, and he was like, and I was like, well, we played it like 2-player, and he was like, oh, I could see how that would be fun. I'm like, oh, did you play that game by yourself?
Yeah.
Because
don't do it.
Oh no,
yeah,
no. Last year before, there was a Cobra Kai game that was a beat 'em up that came out. Michael and I played it. It was really kind of stupid. Apparently, they're making a sequel called Cobra Kai 2 Dojo's Rising, and it looks fucking awful. It looks so bad. The animation in this trailer is so terrible.
Yeah, it's really choppy.
And then the character models are just the deadest of dead-eyed mannequins.
Expression.
Yep. And I can't wait to play this game. It looks like a really terrible beat 'em up from the PlayStation 2.
Oh God.
It looks so
Oh my God,
terrible.
why?
So bad. Like, I don't even know what's going on, but they can't even make a trailer that looks good. It looks terrible.
Is that intentional, or do they think they're doing something?
I think that they just rushed this shit out because the new season of Cobra Kai started 2 days ago from when this aired. So,
oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the original wasn't that bad. The original was actually pretty fun.
So the original looked better than this.
It was more stylized. See, it was more stylized.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was trying to be
like, you know what?
Photorealistic.
Realistic is where we're going with
the previous one was stupider.
Yeah.
This one's intercut with a bunch of footage of the Karate Kid, but
damn it, Ralph Macchio, get off my screen.
Yeah. And let's see. Last but not least, we got a teaser for Grim Grimoire once more. Grim Grimoire is one of the games that Vanillaware made, the makers of Dragon's Crown and Odin's Sphere and that stuff. Aegis Rim, 13 Sentinels. This one was a remaster of a PS2 game that came out in Japan and didn't come out in the U.S., and they announced that they were putting it out in the U.S.
This shit looks adorable.
It's like a strategy game.
It looks cottagecore as fuck.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of crazy characters.
Yeah.
It's including...
And Boobs McGee.
big boob teacher, boss, evil witch.
Whatever she wants me to call her, I will call her it.
Okay.
That's a lion.
And then a lion-headed guy with a really, really, really big lion head.
Yeah.
So, they're putting this out. Oh, God, I closed the tab that said it was open. Spring 2023, PS4, PS5. This is a strategy game where it's like a big tall tower, and then you like use cards to summon monsters and then kind of real-time strategy them up these towers.
Gotcha.
So it's not exactly like that same kind of action game that Dragon's Crown or like Odin's Sphere is. So, but it's supposed to be really good. I've never played it myself. And then let's finish it up. Multiversus is getting Gizmo. Gizmo's coming into Multiversus. Stripe had already been accidentally leaked, but apparently Gizmo's coming first, and they put out a little teaser.
Fuck yeah, Gizmo.
With the little Mogwai box.
Does he have the little Rambo headband? Because that's when you know he's serious.
He probably is going to get that as a DLC costume or an alternate costume. But yeah, Gizmo's coming into the Multiversus.
I always want to watch the Gremlins movies because I genuinely love both of them. But I don't watch horror movies during Christmas time, and I don't watch Christmas horror movies during Halloween time. So I literally never watch the Gremlins movie.
Maybe you could make an Maybe you could.
I need to do like a.
Maybe you could make Thanksgiving your Christmas horror movie time.
We've talked about
Gremlins,
about
Santa Sleigh, Jack
Santa
Frost.
Sleigh is the only horror Christmas movie we watch on Christmas Day. That is a Christmas tradition for me and John, like 10 years strong. Like we every year.
How many other Christmas horror movies are there?
I think there's one called Black Christmas.
Okay.
But there's a bunch. Every year there's always a stupid horror Christmas movie.
Krampus, the Krampus movie thing.
Yeah, and that's a good one too. There's literally one called A Christmas Horror Story. That's I think it's also a Krampus one. Oh my God. There's a bunch though.
Anyway. Okay. Returnal is almost certainly going to be on the PC. There was a GDC talk that came out where they showed Returnal and they brought up a debug menu, and there were things in that debug. Obviously, it was running on the PC if they had a debug menu, but there are things in that debug menu like keyboard and mouse support on off, like things like that, that make people believe that Returnal is almost certainly going to be on PC, even though they haven't announced it yet. So, bad news: Atomic Heart got delayed to this winter. It was supposed to be out in, I believe, in October, and got pushed back to the winter, which probably means it's going to be in early 2023.
No, I was gonna say, so like January, February.
Yeah. They also the developer Mundfish paired up with Focus Entertainment to publish it, which is good. Means it'll get more eyes on it because Atomic Heart looks absolutely berserk and insane, and I want to play it really, really bad. So. And then bad news, everybody. Undertale chapter 3 or whatever is not going to be out this year.
Oh,
Toby Fox says so. It's going to be something next week, but and I think that's just about it. Oh no, we also got a release date of September 14th for The Wandering Village, which is the one where you are playing like a tiny group of people, and it's like a city management game, but you're on the back of a giant walking brontosaurus type thing.
Yeah.
So,
I'd be like, what can I build so that I can scratch its belly?
Apparently, you can build like trebuchets or like kites or whatever to feed it. Like you could put a bunch of food on a thing and then launch it at the mouth, and it'll do stuff.
I love it.
Yeah. And then let's finish up with some fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Somebody got Quake running on an Apple Watch.
God damn it.
Which looks like absolutely awful to play.
Yeah, that doesn't look like something I would want to do.
But it's interesting that they're running it at a full 60 frames per second on the actual Apple Watch.
Yeah. There's something funny about the time being in the top right corner of it.
Yeah.
Like it will never stop being a watch.
Yeah. It's funny that there's only enough room on there for forward, left, turn right, and shoot.
Yeah.
Those are the only controls that are available.
That's all you need, baby.
So looks absolutely terrible way to play it. Somebody modded the Final Fantasy VII remake to do what we all wanted them to do from the beginning, and put in the old big blocky characters.
I love them. They're so stupid looking.
These were ripped from the PC port of Final Fantasy VII because they have mouths, which they do not have on the PlayStation version.
Huh.
But they then went back and recreated the whole trailer. But every time they flash back to the other characters, they are the blocky versions of them. So
that's funny.
It looks like Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, and then Yuffie and her buddy from the Intergrade. And it's real goofy looking.
Yeah, it's super goofy looking.
The weirdest thing to me is the fact that all the shading that happens because the lighting engine is just taking care of business.
Yeah.
It's also weird that they used the overworld versions, right? Because when you go into battle, those versions have more regular proportions.
Yeah.
Whereas these are the ones that you see before you go into battle.
Yeah. Because it's funny, Jeff.
Because this is a joke mod. Come on.
Because this was done for ha-has.
Yep. And last but not least, change your ha-has into what's? Because I don't know what the fuck, man. Randy Pitchford is selling a bunch of his old used loud shirts for charity. You know those horrible shirts that Randy Pitchford wears whenever he shows up on stage?
Sure.
Yeah, he's selling them for like suggested, their blind auction suggested retail value $400 a pop, and the money's going to go to like some kind of
I'll pay
education
$500
program?
if you just keep your shirts, man.
I'll give you more. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah. I don't know who wants to buy the shirts. I've seen Randy Pitchford. That dude sweats.
Yeah.
Like that dude is not dry and cool all the time. That is a wet man right there.
Confusing. I mean, I appreciate anything done for charity, and hear me out. Just give them money. I mean,
What? Yeah. Why do you want us to have to buy your old sweaty shirts?
Yeah.
Like, gross, Randy Pitchford. What if you just started up a charity where you were like,
"What's wrong with you, Randy?"
Come on, Randy. You have better ideas than this. Oh, and that's it. Oh, it was too long this week. But I think I can finally go to sleep now.
We can rest.
We can finally rest. unless fucking Loab comes into my dreams tonight. Don't haunt me, Loab. Doggicles, save me. Doggicles, keep me safe.
Help.
Help me, Doggicles. You're my only